You may wonder how the COVID infection natural immunity lasts, how long it lasts, and how strong it is. Today, I'm going to share with you the latest finding from National Institute of Health. They found out that the immune response of the natural COVID immunity is actually very strong, and even after 8 months, it's still very strong. So their finding is the immune system of more than 95% of people who recover from COVID-19 had durable memories of virus up to 8 months after infection. So that's a very long period of time, and that's roughly the longest data that we can get, because the pandemic is just being around here for slightly over a year. So 8 months is already a very good length of data, and we definitely will continue monitoring this immune response. So 95% of people recovering from COVID had a durable immunity. That's a very good number, good portion, 95%. One thing worth noting is this 95%, they have a very different level of immunities of COVID. How we can analyze this before we dive in everything, we need to understand there are three components. They consist of humans' long-term immune response, immune protection. So there are three components. The first one is antibodies, which is the one they can directly react to fight the virus, and that's how people usually measure the immunity. Like the most straightforward way, you can just to measure your antibody against the COVID, how much like how good it is, like what's the level of it. But there's a catch. Apart from antibody, there still are two different kind of cells: T cells, memory T cells, and memory B cells. Memory T cells is the one they can directly kills the pathogens, and they can also provide you like a protection against the COVID-19. And the B cells, they can make new antibodies. They can fight against the COVID-19. So even your antibodies level is very low, but if you have strong T cell and the B cells, they still recognize the COVID-19 virus. They can still help your body to fight against the COVID. So you couldn't just look at antibodies. That's not the only thing that you should measure. You should measure these three of these at the same time, and they have very complex interactive systems. So that's why immune system is hard to predict. So all of these three components are found in people who recover from COVID. So that's a good news. It means like three components are working usually, like almost like always they are working. And 1 month after the symptom onset, means like if you got infected with COVID and when first time the symptoms show up, and after 1 month after that time point, 98% of participants found like antibodies in their body, and the level of antibodies in their blood is very varies. It really ranges depending on the person. So they can be, somebody can have very high level of antibodies, somebody can have very low. But the good thing is, no matter how high or how low their antibody is after like 1 month after the symptom onset, it turns out that their antibodies is very stable. It just declines a little bit, like antibody level 6 months after the symptom onset. So means the antibodies is quite durable. The decline rate is relatively low in this case, for the people who recover from COVID. And that's why we hope the vaccine can also have very similar effects. And I have a theory that a vaccine may have a better antibody responses because it it's designed to trigger your antibody response. Okay, so another good thing is virus-specific B cells. That's what I mentioned earlier. Increase like a few months after infection, then plateau. It doesn't really, the level of B cells doesn't really decline. And the plateau, even after 6 months, the virus-specific B cells are still very strong. So the density is still very high. So that's another very good news. And 6 months after the symptom onset, 92% of participants had CD4 plus T cells, which is T cells they can recognize the virus. So 92% of them have that 6 months after they recover. So that's a very long time. It's quite durable. And 50% of the participants, they had CD8 T cells, which can kill the cells they are infected by the virus. So it's much lower than CD4 T cells, but 50% is still quite a decent number. And how much immunity you can get, how much level of B cells, T cells, or antibodies you have, it's not really explainable. Yeah, the scientists still couldn't explain that. At least we know the severe disease severity could not account for this variability of antibodies and other immune responses. So which means even somebody they got sick, very sick after infected by COVID-19, after he or she recovers, the antibodies, like immune response for this virus, may not be particularly high than those who doesn't even have symptoms. So that's what we couldn't explain. That's why I am saying immune response, immune systems is really complex. And also COVID is a new thing. So that's what scientists are still trying to figure out. So I will make more videos about this if I have any more updates, any more research they publish. I will make more things about COVID-19. And I have a playlist. I talk about COVID immunity after infection and COVID vaccines, the kind of things. I have a playlist. If you would like to look into more, feel free to watch more videos from the playlist. And if you would like to receive more videos like this about COVID-19 vaccine immune response, don't forget to subscribe. Your subscription is really my best encouragement to make more videos like these. Other than that, I will see you next time.